Good evening from Dozer Park in downtown Peoria, Illinois. It is the Peoria Sunday Morning League, the oldest amateur baseball league in America. And this is one of the biggest nights of the year in the regular season. Dozer Series game here at the home of the Peoria Chiefs. It's the Poor Bros Jacks and the Miller Lite Falcons, the top two teams in the league, doing battle here tonight under the lights in the River City. Good evening, everyone. Jonathan Michael here of Clutch Sports Media. Joining me tonight, Gavin Russell. And Gavin, a little bit of a delay, obviously. You got to get the field ready and everything. Not something we're not used to quite as much when we're doing games at the East Side Center, but stoked to be here tonight. This is going to be an awesome matchup.
Well, it's a beautiful night for baseball. Couldn't draw it up any more perfectly. A summer night and good crowd on hand here. Poor Bros is playing their second in a back-to-back. Miller Lite, their first and only game of the evening. Might run a little bit late tonight, but glad you're with us, and it should be a fun one. Indeed,
sort of some almost West Coast baseball, right? But, yeah, we're looking forward to this one. Miller Lite comes into this one 10-3. And Poor Bros, they are now 12-2 on the year. They were 11-2 coming into tonight, but they just defeated the Firehouse Pizza Expos in the game before this, in a game that was 1-1 through 5 innings, and I believe Poor Bros scored 3 runs in either the 6th or the 7th to come away with that one. So the Jacks are hot again and certainly have their eyes on another league title.
Yeah, 7 in a row for Poor Bros, but this is their first meeting of the year with Miller Lite, so definitely formidable foe. Miller Lite had a great start to the season. They didn't lose a lot early on, and then they've lost 2 of their last 3. But it was 1-0 losses. So take that for what it's worth. Miller Lite's bats are starting to heat back up, and they're looking to get back in the win column again tonight.
You get a look at the standings there again. Poor Bros and Miller Lite coming into tonight were the only teams above 500. So again, a lot of those kind of bottom 7 teams are going to be, this is going to be a big kind of second half of the season. The Dozer Series, kind of like the unofficial halfway marker of the regular season. They play about 24 games each, so again, we are right about the halfway point of the regular season, and we've seen plenty of entertaining games here on CSM this year. I know this is our second time seeing the Jacks. I believe it's our first time seeing the Falcons here this year as well, but again, a lot of familiar names still in the team. David Ellis taking the mound tonight. He's been with them for a while. Some new faces, some longtime faces did leave Miller Lite. Brian Quinn left to go start up that new team you saw there, the Weavers Bandits. So him, a few other veterans, guys have been on the team for a couple years, no longer with the team, but obviously this team is, Falcons team is still pretty formidable.
Yeah, they're a team that just has a lot of history around them, and every single season they're going to be among the most competitive teams. You can never count Miller Lite out. You mentioned they obviously have a lot of longtime players, but they've got some new faces, including the guy behind the dish, Zach Hahn. He's a recent East Peoria grad, playing some junior college baseball now. So they keep kind of just starting to integrate guys, some of the younger guys, and it helps carry the torch onward, similar with Poor Bros as well.
Indeed. We'll get more into it when we get into the broadcast, but a lot of East Peoria flavor, a lot of Washington flavor for both of these teams here tonight. A little bit of IVC too as well. A lot of Gray Ghosts up there from Chillicothe, at least where they played their high school ball. And again, a lot of these guys playing college in various levels, various areas. And we'll kick things off here tonight for Poor Bros, starting with Ben Lapp, their center fielder, hailing from Eureka. He'll be followed by Colson Welgett, Brady Becklin, Evan Pajoli, Kendall Hofer, Zach Schulte, Jake Stewart, Tyler Humphrey, and Aiden Fulton in the Jacks lineup to face David Ellis from the Falcons, and his first pitch is a strike on the inside half.
Yeah, Ellis is going to pump a lot of strikes. He's going to make you hit the ball, for lack of a better term.
Here's the 0-1. This one is hit well into left for Lapp. This one's going. It is gone. A home run over the fence with a wood bat, or no. Was it? I think that was a ground rule double. Lapp is held up at second, and to the naked eye, Gavin, I thought that ball was over the fence.
Yeah, I think we got screened out by the left and center fielder coming together. I did the same thing last time I did a Sunday Morning League broadcast. Must be the netting that's in front of us here, but nonetheless, what a way to start there for the Poor Bros Jacks. They are red hot, coming off a win just a few minutes ago, and now they got a man in scoring position to start things off.
Here's Colson Welgett, who's been one of the biggest breakout players in the league this year. Drops on a bunt, and it just barely rolls foul. But, yeah, we were talking before the game that, again, I would be very surprised if we saw, again, a over-the-fence home run tonight. Again, given, not saying these guys don't have power, but, again, this is a little bit of a bigger field. Again, this is a wood bat league. Although, again, Lapp obviously showing his power, and also Miller Lite is Luke Ketchum, who's the league's home run leader. So maybe after thinking about it, maybe we will see one go over the fence tonight. We'll see.
You never know. I mean, it's a good night for hitting. The wind doesn't seem to be playing much of a factor, so not hurting anything.
Welgett fouls that one back off, and off of the suites up above us. Yeah, look at the American flag out there in center field. It is just hanging straight down. 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock, whatever you want to call it. It is not moving tonight, at least right now. Here's an 0-2 to Welgett. Lapp on second, looks at the ball high.
Yeah, not going to affect much. Compared to Eastside Center, which is the typical home, Dave Rogers Field, the alleys are going to play a little bit deeper. It's a little bit deeper to straightaway center in this ballpark, but the corners are going to play about the same. The wall, though, a little bit higher, so going to need just a little extra oomph to get the ball out of here.
Welgett lines that one foul into the bullpen area. And it's obviously really cool that these players get to play here every year, and I do believe that they do try and make it where every team in the league has an opportunity to play one game at Dozer Park this season. So Poor Bros, they kind of lucked out. They got to play two. Here again, obviously the second game of a doubleheader for them, but this is obviously the destination that everyone wants to be in at the end of the year. This is where they hold the championship series. As Welgett lifts this one into center. Coming on is Peyton Bradford, and he'll get the throw back in to his third baseman, Seaton, and that will hold up Lapp at second.
Nice way for Ellis to rebound there. Got hit hard on that first pitch, but again, he's obviously one of the top pitchers on this Miller Lite team for a reason. Unfazed, and just a couple outs to go for the Falcons to escape an early jam.
Yeah, Ellis, again, probably the clear-cut number 2, maybe number 3 pitcher for Miller Lite. Obviously number 1, and he will be number 1 until he retires, is Clay McConkey, probably the league's best pitcher of all time in this 110-plus year history. But Ellis, a graduate of Evansville. He was a Purple Ace, played at the Division I level, graduated in 2020. Is second in the league this year in innings pitched with 24. 0-1 to Brecklin. Jack's infielder. That one's fouled back and away.
Yeah, again, I think he's going to challenge the hitters, but Poor Bros a little bit of an advantage because they aren't rusty. You know, they already had quite a few at-bats in the last game, so we'll see if they can keep it up through all 7 innings tonight, but they're certainly got to be seeing the ball pretty well, having already played a whole baseball game in this ballpark.
Indeed, and obviously tonight you get a little bit, as the darker it gets, the easier it might be to see the ball. You got that big old batter's eye out there in center field, so again, both these teams have great pitching, but we could see a few runs being scored.
Lately, though, again, Miller Lite definitely has had the pitching dialed in. They've only allowed 2 runs over their last 3 contests, but unfortunately resulted in 2 losses for them. That's just baseball in a nutshell right there.
He's got to get that run support. They just didn't have it in those games as Brecklin looks at a ball low and away. It's now 2-2. Brecklin, back in 2021, played a season in the MLB Draft League, played for the State College Spikes, who, as a St. Louis Cardinals fan, I know used to be the short season Class A affiliate. Well, there is no more short season Class A in minor league baseball. This one chopped over to short, and Lawrence goes over to Colin Deering, the first baseman, to retire Brecklin 6-3.
Yeah, short season. What a pull right there. You know, big minor league baseball fan myself, and miss the old days. Man, the minor league system was very expansive, and the days that the Peoria Chiefs play here at Dozer Park were low A, and obviously now they've restructured and gone to the high A level. So, but very, very prominent thing to play in as well. we've got several players actually that have played in the MLB draft leagues and different things like that here in the Sunday Morning League.
We do, as Evan Pajoli looks at a strike low and down the middle. Pajoli, a longtime star in this league, has been an all-star before, hitting .281 this year with 2 doubles, 8 RBIs, looking for number 9 with Lapp at third. And in case you're just tuning in, we did get a late start tonight, but Ben Lapp started the game off hot with a double to left center that we thought was a home run when it landed, but apparently was a double. Bounced on the track and over. So here's Pajoli on the 1-1. Nice frame job there by Hahn. I don't believe that ball was a strike when it crossed the plate, but Hahn made it look that way.
Not using the ABS system here at Dozer Park. Not part of the Sunday Morning League quite yet.
Here's the 1-2 from Ellis. This one chopped. Pajoli got jammed there, and he'll take a short jog down to first, but be retired. So Ellis and the Falcons get out of the jam, and it remains a 0-0 ball game despite the leadoff double from Ben Lapp.
Yeah, it was a hard-hit double. I mean, he missed the home run by just a matter of a few feet, evidently. But Ellis, what a way to rebound right there. Again, showing off why he's one of the better pitchers in this league. And now the Falcons are, again, trying to keep the bats hot, coming off a game where they finally got it going after a pair of shutouts.
Indeed, we'll take a look at the Falcons lineup here tonight. And it's kicked off with Alex Seaton, another local product, former Peoria Notre Dame Irishman, playing third base tonight. Batting first, batting second is Caden Bowles, the Falcons right fielder. Following him is John McGuire. He's their second baseman, wearing number 18 here tonight. And Luke Ketchum, the league leader in home runs with 5 on the year, which is Sunday Morning League is quite a lot. He's playing left field. And then Colin Deering, Gavin Lawrence, Chris Finn, 5, 6, 7. Zach Hahn batting 8th, and Peyton Bradford batting 9th. Our Jacks pitcher tonight, we are trying to figure out who that is. That is Gavin Thompson, number 13 for the Jacks. Had to take a quick second. Didn't see what it was on the lineup card, but now we do see it is Thompson, the former Pekin Dragon, now playing, at least he played this past season, at Bradley's. So familiar confines for him.
Yeah, I had a feeling it was going to be Gavin Thompson. Pitched Braden Vanderheit, who's been one of the league's best pitchers earlier this week on Monday. So obviously he's going to be out of commission throwing tonight. But you get another great pitcher in Gavin Thompson to head to the mound. And he looks to continue a stellar season here in the first inning.
Here's first pitch to Seaton, swing and a miss, and that's a nice way to start there for Thompson. And again, being a current college pitcher, might have maybe a little bit more velocity than some of these guys out there, but lots of good pitchers in this league as Seaton chops that one foul into the left. Thompson just wrapped up his senior year at Bradley, played for the Braves in 2026, and also last year as a junior, spent 2 years at ICC just across the river, was the conference co-pitcher of the year for the Cougars as a sophomore, led them to a regional district championship.
Yeah, definitely one of the best players to come out of Pekin in quite some time.
1-2 to Seaton is fouled back.
So far, it looks like he's got a nice variety. He's going to keep the opposing hitters guessing. A couple of fastballs. Blew it right by Seaton, but just hung a breaking ball. So, again, keeping them on their toes could lead to a punch-out.
Here's the 1-2. And the appeal, he did not swing, so now that makes it 2-2 here to Seaton, who on the year is batting .400 with a .500 on-base percentage and a .500 slugging percentage. So strong year for him, and seeing it's rung up on the outside corner. think our zone might be a little bit bigger than average tonight, Gavin, but as long as it's consistent, I think that's all that that's the bigger deal.
Yeah, I mean, the guys got to learn in the first couple innings, what is the zone going to look like, and it does seem like it's been consistent thus far, getting a similar call in the top of the first, so just got to be able to adjust on the fly, and you learned that the first time through the order.
Here's Caden Bowles now for the Falcons. Bowles batting .211 on the year, .407 on base percentage, just drawn 8 walks. So Bowles definitely has a good eye as he'll take a 2-0 here from Thompson, swing and a miss.
And that's several swings and misses we've already gotten from Gavin Thompson. Miller Lite's first couple batters unable to catch up to that fastball. So, again, that might be something that comes throughout this ball game. They have to catch up to that.
This one chopped to the left side and gets past the third baseman, Kendall Hofer. And Bowles will be on with a single. That one was a hot one for Hofer to handle, and I think they're probably going to give him a hit there instead of an error.
Yeah, I would score that a hit for sure. I mean, it was hit very, very sharply. He was a little bit late on the swing, John, but again, sometimes that's not always the worst thing. He hit it hard, got all of it, and was able to smash it over to left field.
So that brings up now John McGuire, wearing number 28 tonight. So they ball low and away. A beautiful night for baseball here at Dozer Park. I almost said the East Side Center. It's what I've been accustomed to saying. That's where all of our other PSML broadcasts are at. And if you tune into any of them, you'd probably know by now that this is a big deal playing here at Dozer Park, because usually we are over at the East Side Center and a lot of other venues used across the area, Richwoods, P&D, even Morton and Tremont they play sometimes at, but ICC sometimes.
Certainly.
Now you have to go to the granddaddy of the River City.
Yeah, I was going to say those are great facilities, of course, but certainly this is the pinnacle, and like you said earlier, this is where you want to end up at the end of the season. Just a little bit of a taste halfway through.
And we could very well, again, see these two teams playing for the Sunday Morning League title in late July, which, by the way, as we'll tell you here after this, a ground ball from McGuire. They go 4-6. The relay is not in time. McGuire beats it out. So that'll be a 4-6 fielder's choice. They get the lead runner Bowles. But as I was saying, a little bit of a spoiler for you. We will be broadcasting every game from the championship series this year on Clutch Sports Media, part of our expanded broadcast schedule, which in the past years has been about 8 or 9 games or so. Well, we've got 15, possibly even 16 if that championship series goes to 3 games. Again, best of 3 series, but we'll have game 1, game 2, and if necessary, game 3 for you on July 30th, 31st, and August 1st, I believe. Don't quote me on that, but
I think you're right.
I know it's around that span. Here's Ketchum, big number 99, as again 5 homers on the year, 15 RBIs, product of the University of St. Francis. And bats here with 1 on and 2 out.
So far, not too much trouble for Gavin Thompson. Had the one hard hit single, but again, trying to escape an early base runner, just like his counterpart David Ellis did.
Thompson, or Ketchum, I should say, gets jammed. Fouls that one off near his third base coach, Tim Cundiff of the Miller Lite Falcons again. We were talking earlier, Gavin. Tim Cundiff is, I guess you could call him Mr. Sunday Morning League. You also just call him Mr. Peoria, because anywhere you go, if you live in Peoria for long enough, your paths will cross with Tim Cundiff.
Oh, no doubt about that. His ball gets to the backstop and puts a runner in scoring position.
I'll move McGuire over to second. So a base hit could score him here.
Yeah, Tim, though, we're not partial in any regard here, John, but I got to say I think Tim's the best third base coach in the league. He does get in there from time to time. I did ask him to hit a home run tonight, and he said that's always the goal. But he does a great job, obviously a great supporter of any athletics in the Peoria area, high school, college, for Bradley basketball, women's basketball, men's basketball. Of course, his Falcons as well.
Indeed, as Ketchum strikes out, that'll do it for the first. The Falcons strand one, and Thompson gets 2 strikeouts, one swinging it and one looking. And we'll move on to the second in a 0-0 game. But obviously Team Cundiff on one dugout, and then you got the current league president and also another very good friend of ours, Zach Schulte, in the other dugout for the Poor Bros Jackson. We'll actually see him coming up to bat here in the top of the second. He's batting 6th and playing DH tonight.
Yeah, he's a guy that does it all, right? He's playing pretty much every game that they've got. He's managing the team and also making sure that this league continues on and thriving as well.
Indeed. Both Tim and Zach, awesome guys, and can't thank them enough for their help with our partnership with them. Wouldn't be possible without them, and also wouldn't be possible without the help of our sponsors, including the Blue Duck Barbecue at Tavern, located just blocks away from us here at Dozer Park. How did maybe hit that up afterwards, Gavin?
Yeah.
Bomb Sports, Bradley Welker, CPA, and Brad Fields. Also by Busey Bank, also our scoreboard sponsor, so big thanks to Busey this year. Also by CAD Construction, Captivation Dance, and Cookies in Peoria Heights as well. Again, also Core Construction. Can't forget about them. Located in Morton. You saw them briefly on your screen, but again, lots of sponsors this year. Also want to thank all of the team sponsors as well. Obviously with Miller Lite, they're sponsored by Baumgarten Distributing, and Poor Bros, obviously. I don't know if you've ever been to Poor Bros, Gavin. I'm a big fan over there in the Heights. It's the place to be, especially during the summer when they got those concerts in the courtyard.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's very fun to go to.
Slow hand barbecue right upstairs. Oh, my goodness. Brienzo's is fantastic.
Yeah, Brienzo's another league sponsor located right across the way. So they should call that Sunday Morning League Court or something like that over there in Peoria Heights. Now, Kendall Hofer will get things going here in the top of the second against David Ellis. Ball low and down the middle. Hofer, a longtime Jack and graduate of Viterbo University up in La Crosse, Wisconsin. Looks at a strike there. Hofer on the year batting .353 with a .593 on base percentage. His 10 walks are tied for 3rd in the league this season. Not going to be easy to draw one here against Ellis, who's been dealing tonight and is ahead of here 1-2.
Yeah, really the toughest part of this Jack's order is 4, 5, 6. Coming up, we'll see Schulte, Jake Stewart as well. So they've got some big hitters in the middle of the lineup.
And now number 8-2, Tyler Humphrey as well, leads the team in doubles on the year. So this Jack's team really stacked from 1 through 9 in the order.
Don't even have Noah Chase in the lineup for this game. He's had a great season.
Indeed, and Trevor Goforth doesn't have the highest batting average. He's not in the lineup, at least in this game, but leads the league in walks with 13. So this Jack's team they can hit, but they can also get on base too as well. As here's the full count pitch to Hofer, who fouls it back.
Yeah, I believe Goforth and Chase, as well as some others, got some action in the last ball game they played in, trying to pull up a box score from that, but yeah, Chase and Goforth both in the lineup for the last contest, so just getting everybody a little bit of a chance to play, keeping the legs fresh in this ball game. Never know who we could see those, pinch hitter, late in the game situations, pinch running. Zach Schulte, obviously an experienced manager, so he'll make the right moves at the right times, no doubt about that.
Indeed he will. Again, Jackson defending league champs. Miller Lite, though, they have hoisted that trophy plenty of times over the last few years. 3-2 to Hofer. This one's lined into right. Oh, and what a grab by the second baseman, McGuire. Full extension like he's part of the Incredibles. And that's one down to the top of the second.
Yeah, he reached all the way out for that. Timed it up perfectly, too. Just had to take a little bit of a hop to grab that one with the glove. And that's just a bad break right there for Hofer. But nonetheless, it's out number 1.
We have seen some awesome glove plays in the Sunday Morning League this year, and also a lot in past years too as well. A lot of plays that, maybe could even potentially end up on SportsCenter. Wouldn't be the first time you've had a SportsCenter top play on Clutch Sports Media airwaves.
Lots of web gems, and bound to happen with you got a lot of talented players, a lot of talented defenders in this league.
Indeed, Schulte fouls that one back, and now even the count at 1-1. Schulte, again, league vet. He is the manager, but that doesn't mean he can't play. He was the league batting champ 2 years ago and is hitting .321 this year.
You talk about a real old school baseball player. No gloves.
Yeah.
Doesn't care about it. Maybe a little tape on the wrist just to keep it straight. But, yeah, he's a guy that just goes up there, doesn't need the big face guard as well. Old school player, and he gets it done.
No sliding mitt or ice cream patterned anything for Schulte. He was going to reach here with an infield single, just a ball that died out about 15 feet away from the plate. And the Miller Lite catcher, Zach Hahn, had trouble gloving that one and threw it away. But Schulte going to just be content just to take first.
Yeah, Schulte again, old school, playing some small ball right there. Just able to keep it fair, and a tough play there for Hahn to spin around, grab it. So another early base runner. As you mentioned, they're not just getting hits, but they're finding ways to get on base, and sometimes you got to put the defense in a tough spot.
Indeed, especially against a good pitcher like Ellis, as Jake Stewart fouls that one away off of the roof here over by the right field party deck. I don't know if there's a specific name for that party deck, but another one on the left field line sponsored by Budweiser. But not sure about the right field one.
Might have to be the Clutch Sports Media party deck. Missed opportunity.
Yeah, maybe we could have gone alternate angle, and maybe next time we'll do a broadcast from up there. We will be back here on Saturday for another Dozer Series game, so maybe throw our viewers through a loop. But just kidding. Well, I think we're. This is a great view here we got setting up on the concourse at Dozer Park.
It's about as good as it gets, really. I mean, overlook the Peoria skyline straight out in front of us, and beautiful night here in Peoria.
Indeed, as Stewart faces the 0-1. This one hit up the middle. Going to be a tough play, sliding play, 6-4, over to 3. They got him. What a play from Lawrence down to his knees. And that ends the inning. So the Falcons start and end the top of the second with some nifty glove work. And we'll try and break open the scoreless game in the bottom of the second.
Yeah, Lawrence just gloving it and shoveling it. Knew he had no time to waste. And how about McGuire with a cannon? He didn't have the cleanest transfer from the glove to the hand, but he just let it rip over to first. A nice, accurate throw. And his defense definitely saved them some potential harm. Got them a couple outs this last inning.
It certainly has. It's been an entertaining one so far, and it's been a good one so far if you like pitching and defense. We knew we were going to get a good matchup tonight again with these top two teams in the league. We'll see Colin Deering, Gavin Lawrence, and Chris Finn coming up here for the Falcons against Gavin Thompson. Again, the Bradley Brave, who this past year, again, if you follow Bradley baseball much at all, the pitching definitely sort of struggled for them this year, but Thompson was one of the overall the brighter spots for them. Gave them some good innings and threw 42 and a third, 32 strikeouts on the year. So see what he can do here against this Falcons lineup. Colin Deering, a former Illinois College Blue Boy, D3 school down there in Jacksonville, and formerly went to East Peoria and ICC.
Yeah, Deering's been around for some time as well. Definitely one of the more memorable players in the past decade, give or take, for East Peoria, although Obviously, this year's team.
There's a lot of new entries, I think.
Wrote a lot of history this past season, but, obviously along the years, one of the great players to play for longtime coach Matt Plummer.
That playoff run was something else, Gavin, and one that we saw a lot of firsthand between the two of us, and we both covered multiple of their playoff games on Clutch Sports Media, and it was just, I think, Tremont winning the state title was obviously very special, and that group was extremely good, and just the way they dominated was something else down there in the Class 1A state finals just a little over a week ago. But East Peoria, I'd argue, was probably the best story of not even just baseball, but of the entire spring season here in Central Illinois, just given that they had not won a was it a regional or was it a sectional since 1974?
Yeah, it was a sectional.
Okay.
Yep.
52-year-long drought, though, and Matt Plummer has a guy that cared about his team a lot, and that really, truly meant something to him after seeing them win that sectional title in a thriller over Dunlap.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And, even regionals have been hard to come by, not because of lack of talent, but you just look at the Mid-Atlantic Conference in general and some of the teams from this area. There's good reason why it's considered one of the best in the state.
Here he has this one down the left field line. Diving play. No, he dropped it. No, he caught it initially, the left fielder Stewart, but he lost it when he popped up. Where's Kelvin Johnson when you need him? Megatron did not complete the process of the catch. That's a tough break for the Jacks. And Deering is aboard.
It almost seemed like he lost it trying to get himself up off the ground, but again, maybe he had trapped it a little bit. Maybe he didn't get it cleanly and he was trying to get a quick throw back in. Again, a great effort there by Jake Stewart. We've seen some really wonky, not too many well-hit balls except for that first hit of the game. The rest have been very borderline, and the defense has made it very close.
It has. This is another in-betweener here from Lawrence. The right fielder, Aiden Fulton, going to take that one and put it away for the first out. So Lawrence, the former Washington Panther, is retired. That'll bring up Chris Finn, the DH for the Falcons, another veteran that's been around for a while in this league. Solid year for him, batting .281 with 4 doubles, 6 RBIs. And those 4 two-baggers are a team high.
If you got a guy that can put the ball into a gap or down the line for some extra base hits, that's a guy you want at the plate with anybody on base. A double definitely could score the man Deering from first. Although, again, you test the Poor Bros outfield, definitely some big arms and some good defense out there too.
Finn is the older brother of one of the area's top softball players, Sarah Finn from Illini Bluffs, who will go on to continue her career at Creighton. And Finn is just one of the biggest sluggers in the area, has been an impact player on a state title winning team her freshman year, and obviously that talent runs in the family. So we'll see what Finn can do here with 1 on, 1 out, and a 2-2 count.
Got a little lefty-righty matchup here too, so see if he can get a good look out of the hand of Gavin Thompson.
That one inside, easy one to take there for Finn. You got Zach Hahn, the catcher, on deck. And we'll see if the Jacks maybe can induce a ground ball, flash some leather, and get out of it before they even get to him. Full count to Finn. That one is popped straight up. And the shortstop, Brecklin's eyeing it, but it's going to be the third baseman, Hofer, taking it. And puts it away for out number 2.
That was a good pitch by Gavin Thompson. Hit him with a bit of a breaking ball. Looked like Finn was sitting on something a little bit different. He was trying to drive something, maybe find an alley, but he kept him guessing, and it's an easy routine pop-up. And just one more out to go for Gavin Thompson to escape another base runner.
In case you're just tuning in, you haven't missed much in the scoring department. Maybe a few good fielding plays. You saw the catch by John McGuire back in the top of the second, as well as a couple hits in this one, but no runs yet. Hahn takes a strike low on the outside corner.
Again, it looks like the zone tonight is going to be a little bit bigger east-west. Pretty normal north-south.
So I've noticed as well, this one another chopper, going to be a tough play for the catcher, and they get him at first. What a throw from Tyler Humphrey, gunning him down and ending the inning. We've seen Humphrey's arm quite a bit on Clutch Sports Media, a little bit with baseball, but also with football.
Yes, he definitely showed it off right there. He can sling it good, and credit to Zach Hahn. I mean, he made that a play. I wouldn't say catchers are typically known for their running ability, but he had some wheels going down to first and just got him by a step.
Anyway, we got a quick break. Want to thank all of our sponsors that make this broadcast possible. Listed some of them earlier, but we have some additional ones as well, starting with Cruisin's on Farmington Road and War Memorial, including Whitey's Barbecue on Route 29, also DC Home Base, Ducks on Farmington Road, great new place to check out, Fairview State Bank, Jake Smith, your sales consultant at Lexus of Peoria, JH Car Wash, also Kim's Academy of Dance, and also Laura Martin Remax. You can contact her at the information there on your screen, or Google Laura Martin Remax. All your real estate needs here in the area. Top of the third, getting ready to kick off here at Dozer Park. And, Gavin, we were talking a bit about, Humphreys, watching him play football over the years, led some great Washington teams, a couple that made the state quarterfinals. Humphrey was honestly kind of more of a running quarterback, honestly, but very smart quarterback, and he can really throw it downfield when he needed to.
Yeah, I mean, it's a long list of just great offensive players that have come through Washington, and having a dual threat obviously is something that a lot of football teams are doing these days, but just going down in history as, again, one of the better Washington players to come through to recent memory, and we've had the privilege to cover a lot of those really good Washington football teams over the last several years, and some historic runs in their own right. Haven't led to any state titles or anything like that, but they're always on the cusp. They're always knocking on the door, and they're going to make a deep playoff run no matter what.
Exactly. Well, and Humphrey's predecessor just bats one spot above him in the order. Jake Stewart was the one that came before Humphrey. We saw him ball out over the years, too, as well. So, again, we're obviously comfortably in the middle of baseball and, summer season as well. Some good time off for us at Clutch Sports Media a little bit before we kind of get going for the fall. But I'm really looking forward to, football season. Really nothing like those getting ready for those games on Friday night. And, yeah, for us at Clutch, you look forward all week to that one game. And, everything you're doing all week is to prepare for that one broadcast. And it's just a ton of fun, and more often than not, we're usually at a place like Washington or catching Washington on the road just because they've been so good over the years.
Yeah, you got to go where the best games are, and Washington has always stood out as one of the best teams and programs. They're really well led over there. They've obviously had a couple of coaches in our time with Clutch, but regardless who's been at the helm, they've been very successful.
They indeed have, as Humphrey will see him bat now, leading off top of the third. 8-9-1 coming up here for the Jacks. 0-2. David Ellis is ahead of him. Ellis hasn't got his strikeout yet. Meanwhile, Thompson's got 2 for the Jacks. That one's low and away.
Yeah, no strikeouts. Really only, again, the first batter of the game, Ben Lapp, had a hard hit ball. Otherwise, it's been pretty weak, soft contact so far. Again, that might get a little more dicey second, third time through the order, but so far dominating and on cruise control for Ellis.
Tries to get Humphrey a chase there. He doesn't bite. Now 2-2. Definitely get the feeling, though, that this game is going to be one that's going to be, I feel like the first run or two might be scored via small ball. Kind of old school Tony La Russa style.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, it might be just get a couple guys on base
as
while that one's cranked.
Is wallop to left. Will it stay fair? It is fair. A home run for Humphrey. He absolutely jacked that one. He's got some teammates coming out of the dugout. How about the light show, too, as well? What a cool moment for Humphrey. as he sent that ball packing just inside of the left field line. And how about that, Gavin? Just as we say small ball, Tyler Humphreys says, forget that. I'm going to put that one nearly on Jefferson Street. It's 1-0 Jacks in the top of the third.
Yeah, we weren't expecting to see many home runs tonight, and then in a matter of a couple innings, we saw a close one, and then we saw a ball finally leave the yard. Humphrey showing off the arm with the defense, and now he's showing off the arms with the home run. That dude's got some strength and some power. Wow, and just snuck it inside the foul pole.
The ICC Cougar going deep here at Dozer Park, and now here Fulton gonna line this one into center. That one is caught, though, by Bradford for out number 2. Out number 1, excuse me. But, man, what a...
Humphrey hit it out.
Yes, exactly. But, I mean, that ball, as soon as it left the bat, you knew it had the distance. I mean, Lapp's one that he had to start the game. That one was like, will it clear, will it not? But that one was a no-doubter, and Lapp going to hit this one hard again to center. Bradford backtracks and reaches up for the catch, so now there's 2 down. They're back-to-back F8s in your scorebook.
Humphrey's ball was definitely just a matter of, is it going to stay on the right side of the foul pole? And again, Miller Lite definitely had their grievances with that one, and that's probably a hard call there for the umpire. It is right on the borderline. Honestly, it may have gotten right at the top of that foul pole. So it's hard from the naked eye to see that. Obviously, we don't have replay or anything like that. But nevertheless, credit to Humphrey for an absolutely walloped baseball.
Yeah, again, it's 2 umpires here tonight. There was not an umpire on the third base line on that play, so that was the home plate umpire making the call. But even if it's, again, right on top of the foul pole, that is still a fair ball. So I wonder if that one might even hit the foul pole. That makes the call a lot easier at that point.
Yeah, given the grievance from Miller Lite, maybe not, but it was very close.
This one popped up in the air by Welgett, who had a strong year over at Spoon River Community College. But unable to get a hit there, but his teammate Tyler Humphrey, the man of the hour for the Poor Bros Jacks, puts them up 1-0 on a towering home run to left, his first of the year. And we'll see how Miller Lite responds in the bottom of the third with 9-1-2. Bradford, Seton, and Knowles due up.
Yeah, we're talking about getting a run via small ball, and I think they took it personally. You know, we're even talking off air. Again, not expecting a lot of hard-hit baseballs. First of all, giving the pitching matchup we have here tonight, 2 excellent pitchers who rarely get hit around very much. But again, just having a little bit of a bigger yard tonight. Also, Poor Bros coming off a game just a few minutes ago. But they're proving us wrong. They're hitting the ball all over the yard, and maybe we'll see some more fireworks than we thought.
Indeed, this is a big series, and this isn't just a cool exhibition game at Dozer Park. I'm sure both these teams are savoring this experience, but this series coming up between Poor Bros and Miller Lite will go a long way in determining who that number 1 seed will likely be. At least as it currently stands, Gabe, I have a hard time believing it's going to be someone other than Poor Bros or Miller Lite taking the number 1 seed going into the playoffs.
Yeah, so far they're running away with it, and we're starting to get close to the back half of the season, especially as we go into next week. So we'll see if they can keep the trend going, but Poor Bros looking for their 8th straight win and looking for 2 tonight, as they would propel themselves way forward if they can hold on. Lots of baseball to go, though.
And either there is here's Peyton Bradford, the center fielder, due up to lead things off. We'll get a look at the schedule coming up here for the Jacks after this first pitch. Grounded to the right side. Welgett comes in and fires the easy pill over to Pajoli at first for out number 1. But take a look at Poor Bros' season so far. They kick things off with a doubleheader against Firehouse Pizza, split that one, and they won 2 games. They swept Move Smart after that. It beat Weavers, and I believe that was Weavers' season debut, 12-4. They lost to Brienzo's back on June 7th, 8-3. but since have gone on a 7-game win streak. As what a play by the shortstop Brecklin, but it's not going to beat the run down to the bag by Seton. But what an effort by Brady Brecklin to nearly nab the runner.
Yeah, that had hit all over it, and he was still somehow able to track it down and get the throw over just a hair late. That's a near impossible play to make, but kudos to him on a near web gem.
So here's Caden Bowles, who singled his first time up, trying to go 2 for 2 and get Miller Lite back in business here. Falcons have 2 hits on the night. Jacks with 3 so far. Going back to, again, Poor season, they also did sweep the Coles Diamond Gallery Royals. That one fouled off the foot of Bowles. So, Miller Lite is taking care of business against teams that, they probably are expected to take care of business against.
Yeah, Poor Bros, they've really not had too much trouble with anybody that's come in their path. But again, this is their first matchup with kind of their co-partner at the top of the league, Miller Lite, and they'll obviously get to play again later this season. These games could really go a long way in determining positioning for the playoffs.
And they've been taking care of business in pretty solid fashion, too. Most of their wins by 3 runs or more. They did have a 3-2 win over Cruisins back on Monday as Bowles gets rung up there for Thompson's 3rd strikeout. But they'll have, obviously, Miller Lite here tonight, and they got Brienzo's next Wednesday, so they have a kind of a 6-day break. But then they come back and face the Falcons twice in a doubleheader on July 5th at the Eastside Center. So if you want at least maybe our personal pick in terms of best games the rest of the year, might be that one as McGuire singles to left, and that'll put 2 on here with 2 outs.
Let's give the flowers to John McGuire. I mean, so far in this ball game, he's doing a lot of things that might be unseen. He's made a couple of really outstanding plays on defense, and now he's gotten on base twice. First time's fielder's choice, and now hits a nice single to left field. So McGuire definitely one of the standouts tonight for Miller Lite, and trying to tie this ball game up right here.
Dangerous batter now, and Luke Ketchum struck out his first time up, and he is a big swinger. He's, again, leads the league in home runs, but also does have 15 strikeouts. But, he obviously, you win some, you lose some. Obviously, Mark Reynolds, guy in the MLB that swung and missed a lot, but still made a decent living playing ball and hit lots of home runs back in his day.
Joey Gallo.
Yep, indeed.
Can think of quite a few guys like that. Chris Davis.
Here's Davis, kind of later in his career had, I'd say maybe a little bit more struggles than some of those guys. I know Davis had some really, really tough years, but did bounce back, I think. Early on,
Chris Davis.
Early on, Chris Davis was a special player. Fouled back, and it's 2-2.
Power pays, though. I mean, you look at the league as a whole right now, it's a lot of guys getting big money for being able to just hit the long ball.
Indeed they do. Again, kind of, I would almost argue a philosophy as Ketchum swings and misses there for another strikeout. Thompson with 4 on the night, all in the top 4 of the order for the Falcons. Jacks still lead at 1-0, but I was going to say, it feels like almost, not just in baseball, but in a lot of different sports nowadays, it's kind of an all-or-nothing approach, right? You're seeing the death of the mid-range in basketball. It's either threes or layups, or, in home runs, it's either you're hitting home runs, you're hitting singles, or home runs, or you're striking out, So that's just kind of, the way and sports are going. Obviously, all these advanced analytics and everything. People got their different opinions on it. I can kind of go either way, but it's, I think, something you see not just in baseball nowadays either.
Yeah, I agree, and I think, you come down to a level like the Peoria Sunday Morning League. I don't want to say it's pure compared to the Major League Baseball, but it's really baseball in its purest form. You've got guys of lots of different backgrounds, lots of different skill sets and, abilities. think you see a little bit of everything in this league, and that's what I really enjoy about it. You don't got guys playing for a bunch of money or this or that, but just guys having fun, playing the game, and doing something that they love every day.
Well said, Gavin. And it's talking about a lot of different sports. Gavin, we're up against some stiff competition tonight. They put us in the primetime slot with one of the other things to watch tonight being the USA men's national soccer team in the World Cup. That doesn't happen very often. But take your bets, folks. Will we see more goals in the World Cup game, which currently is 1-1 between the U.S. and Turkey, or will we see more goals in that game or more runs in this game, which, again, as you see, obviously 1-0, and obviously not 1-0. We don't say that in baseball.
Right, exactly.
Going into the top of the fourth. So, Gavin, I'm curious to see what your pick is. More goals or more runs?
Well, I'm a notoriously bad bettor, John. I do not bet in any
neither
form,
do I.
But I always claim to make bets. And, I'm going to say, based off what I've seen, some hard-hit baseballs, I think Poor Bros has got a couple more runs in them. I think Miller Lite's got a response, too. So we're going to get more runs in this game here tonight. Might come later in the ball game, though, so you got to stay tuned and find out.
Indeed, as Brecklin fouls that one back. I'm with you, Gavin. I'm going to, even though soccer is outscoring us right now, I'm going to say that we will see a few more runs in baseball, but not much. I think it will be overall pretty close. Both the goals in that World Cup game scored in the first 10 minutes. USA striking in the third minute, thanks to Austin Trusty. 1-2 here to Brecklin, and takes that one and counts even.
Yeah, it looks like Ellis was looking for a ring up right there. Didn't get the strikeout.
Our producer, Mark Wagner, says his choice is he thinks there's going to be more goals scored tonight in the World Cup game. So stay tuned to find out.
He's just trying to be different.
Brecklin fouls that one away, and it's 2-2. Brecklin grounded out to short his first time up. Got the cleanup hitter Pajoli on deck, and the 5-hole hitter Kendall Hofer behind him. This one hit well to the left, and that's going to be a laser of a single by Brecklin. And right on cue, Gavin. Said there's been a lot of hard-hit balls, and that trend continues.
Yeah, I'm going through my score sheet here. I mean, you've got 3 hard-hit balls that have gone for hits, but then you have probably 2 or 3 other outs that were hit very sharply right to a fielder. So far, seeing David Ellis pretty well and uncommon, but as a veteran pitcher, as a guy that's pitching a lot of high-leverage moments, definitely a guy that can settle it in and start finding the zone.
Here's Pajoli, kind of a weird liner to the shortstop. Still got time to throw, and he double clutches. Lawrence going to hang on to the ball, and probably a wise decision there as he lost a lot of time with that ball hanging up in the air on kind of a lame duck line drive there from Pajoli, but it works.
Yeah, I don't know what the official score will give him, but I'm going to give him a single.
Yeah.
That was a tough play in the hole at shortstop, and he got a glove on it. Just took a interesting bounce, and Pajoli was able to beat it out. And might have had a chance at first. Pajoli not the fleetest of foot, but he still had a beat on it and able to get the infield single.
Pajoli 6'3", 230, graduate of Pekin, then like many other players here on the field tonight, went to ICC to kick off his college career before going to Olivet Nazarene as Kendall Hofer flies out to right and will keep the runners put at first and second. Pajoli hit 8 homers in his senior year, which is back in 2024. 17 in his career at ONU over in Bourbonnais, Illinois, not too far away from Kankakee. As that will bring up Zach Schulte, league president and DH tonight. Singled his first time up on an infield single that only went about 15 feet. This one popped up. Will it stay in play? It's nearing the Falcons' dugout and just over the netting.
And a lot of first pitch swings here tonight from Poor Bros. They have not looked at many pitches. They're seeing something they like and they go out and they attack it. And Schulte no different, so maybe that's a little bit of a team philosophy there. Maybe they drew that one up.
Hey, Schulte, or maybe the Jacks are saying, hey, it's kind of a late night. We already won one game. Let's try and take care of business, win this one, and get out of here.
Got to go to work tomorrow. Got other things to take care of.
Schulte swings and misses there, 0-2. He's got 8 RBIs on the year. Hit to the fence could make it 10. Here's the 0-2. And Schulte sends this one up the middle. This one's got double play written all over it. 6-4-3. And another good double play turned in this one. Second in 2 innings for the Miller Lite Falcons. That will end the threat. And it remains 1-0 for Bros heading into the bottom of the 4th. Moving right along here at Dozer Park tonight.
Yeah, keeping it threatening, but again, Ellis with another big pitch to get out of it, and sometimes that's all you need. Sometimes you need just a couple good pitches to get out of a jam, and so far, keeping his team right in the ballgame.
Update from that soccer game we were talking about, Gavin, is now 3 goals in that one. Turkey scoring up 2-1 on USA, but again, if you're watching that one, you don't need to watch that one super close. That game doesn't even matter. USA has already clinched Group D, so a little bit more at stake here in this one. No one's clinched anything yet, and still plenty to play for here at Dozer Park tonight.
Absolutely. I'm going to throw you a follow-up question here on the soccer match there. We'll pose it as another bet. Which game is more likely to end in a tie?
Well, I am throwing all my money on the soccer game because baseball games very, very rarely, unless we're going deep into the 13th inning here, and it's midnight, and they just mutually decide to call the game. Unless you're talking about, is it tied after 7 innings, or is it like tied, like
has
tied,
the result
tied?
in the tie?
Oh, I don't think that's happening tonight. Both these teams, pretty obviously evenly well matched, but and again, unless we're going deep into the night and they're saying, you know what, hey, let's just come back and finish this one another time, I'm going to say that the soccer game definitely more likely ends in a tie, which is the reason why I like baseball a little bit more. I'm not a big fan of ties.
That whole point of that question was to convince the audience to stay here and watch us, because you're going to find a winner in this game, and a big game at that. Very close, still anybody's ball game, and got a big chance here for Deering. Had a single his first time up, well hit. Looking to just get some base runners on. Not a lot of traffic so far for the Falcons.
Deering pops this one up on the left side. Hofer is on the move and puts it away for out number 1. Thompson is cruising along tonight for the Jacks. Again, Falcons have had a few hits, but it feels like there's been less threats and also less hard-hit balls compared to what they've been doing themselves in the box.
Yeah, just not really seeing the ball quite as well. And again, Poor Bros did play a game earlier tonight, so maybe they got, again, just the sight lines a little bit more lined up. Feeling a little more comfortable in the box here. This is Miller Lite's first appearance here at Dozer Park this season. Could play a factor.
Well, this one's for all the Gavins. You got Gavin Thompson on the mound, Gavin Lawrence at the plate, Gavin Russell in the booth. It is just Gavin's wild here tonight at Dozer Park.
I mean, more people should be named Gavin, in my personal opinion.
This one grounded to short, and Gavin won that battle right there.
Gavin's plural, strikes again, and you don't see that too much. But again, it's a fantastic name. I'm proud to be named Gavin. But I got to say, I've always been a big fan of the name Jonathan. And speaking of Jonathan, we're going to go to all the sports tonight. Got to touch hockey. I'm a big hockey fan.
Yep.
Jonathan Toews, former Chicago Blackhawk captain, retired
big
officially.
Fan of him, yep.
So just a shout out to hockey, a little bit of a plug there. And
appreciate it.
If you missed the NHL Stanley Cup champions, the Carolina Hurricanes.
Indeed. I was definitely rooting for them over the Vegas Golden Knights for sure. It's been a long time coming for the Hurricanes. As Chris Finn digs in here. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th. Growing up, Gavin, I'm trying to think about famous Gavins I knew growing up, and I don't know why. can't really think of any sports Gavins off the top of my head, at least right now. Maybe if I give me a second, I will. As Gavin Thompson gets another strikeout, and we're through 4 innings with the Jacks still ahead 1-0. And Thompson retiring 4 straight on the mound, but
Gavin Thompson is the only sports Gavin you need to worry about right now. He's cruising along, and giving credit to maybe Poor Bros having played a game earlier, but I think it's just Gavin Thompson really just getting it done. Again, he's got 5 strikeouts thus far through 4 innings. Not many hard-hit baseballs, has kept the traffic down, and, of course, gotten great play from his defense. So far, looking like a pretty complete game from the Jacks. But, again, 3 innings left. There still could be a lot that could change.
Indeed, there can be. As I was sitting there thinking, I was thinking about famous Gavins. I know the one that I was going to say that I this is a little bit of a slight throwback, maybe about 10 or so years ago, but growing up there was a music artist named Gavin DeGraw.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you ever...
Yeah.
Famous for his hit song "Not Over You." That's kind of forgot about that song. It's pretty good one. I should listen to that on the car ride back in honor of all these amazing Gavins I'm being surrounded by tonight.
Yeah, I'm a big Gavin DeGraw fan, and funny enough, actually, that's part of where my name came from. My folks were like Gavin DeGraw. I was actually going to be named Nathan.
Oh, wow.
Until a late entry, somebody suggested the name Gavin. They happened to like Gavin DeGraw, and the rest is history.
By the way, he could have had Nathan and Joe Nathan in the booth. That's how my name is spelled, although it's obviously Jonathan. But shout out to former Minnesota Twins closer Joe Nathan. That was his name.
There you go. There you go.
He was his peak of his career was right around Gavin DeGraw's peak of his career. So that was just kind of a foreshadowing, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We've lost the plot here.
Yeah, we have. It's always fun sharing the booth with you, Gavin. We know we can talk about anything and everything, but we've got a good baseball game going on as Jake Stewart pops this one up, and that one is going to go on top of the dugout. Watch out, that little kid there was playing on top of it, hoping it wouldn't hit him, but missed him by about 20 feet or so.
I've always had a question about, foul balls, if fans have been hit with foul balls, especially, a night like tonight. There's a lot of space in this ballpark. What are the odds it would just be a seeking missile to one person, right? It almost seems like the ball's a magnet to somebody. You got to be ready to catch those foul balls. Young fans got to bring the mitts to the ballpark.
A little bit more time to catch them now, again, with that kind of new netting being installed, obviously mandated across all minor league baseball fields. Dozer Park was one of the last minor league fields in the country actually to extend their netting all the way to the foul pole, which again is obviously required now as Stewart strikes out, and that is Ellis's first K of the night. Came into tonight with 17 on the year and had to wait a while to get his 18th, but always big to get that first out.
Definitely need it. Again, most of the traffic has come with some of the early batters in the inning getting on base, so maybe one out here will get him comfortable and benefits a little bit from that generous east-west right there.
Here's Humphrey, homered last time out, grounder to short, going to be a tough play for Lawrence. Fires it over and retires Humphrey. 6-3, so a nice play there on the run and took his time to really kind of set his feet, and maybe he would have thrown that right away. It would have been tougher to kind of control that throw over to Deering at first.
Yeah, and again, a first pitch swing and a first pitch out, so maybe this is a bit of an adjustment on David Ellis's part, starting to recognize that a little bit and challenging the hitters with some tough pitches early in the count, expecting them to swing. We'll see if Poor Bros maybe adjust their approach a little bit as well.
No one on, 2 outs. Ellis having a nice 5th inning so far as Foltlink's on a strike that skipped away from Zach Hahn, the catcher. Lapp will come out to retrieve the ball. Our camera operator tonight, Bryson Higgins, also an intern doing great work for the Sunday Morning League this year, so a big shout out to him for helping us out tonight in the league all year long. But he said, back to our thing about Gavin's in sports, Gavin Lux on the Los Angeles Dodgers. So,
is he back with the Dodgers? I believe, didn't he get traded to the Reds?
He might have. Again, I
bounced around a little bit. Yes, formerly of the Dodgers.
Formerly of the Dodgers. Yes, he is actually now on the Tampa Bay Rays.
Okay. So he's bouncing around a little bit, huh?
Yeah, Luck's a guy that played high school ball just not literally down the road, but up in my neck of the woods where I'm originally from. Played for Indian Trail High School in Kenosha, Wisconsin, not too far from my hometown of Waterford. So
Midwest born, raised.
pretty cool. I was going to say Racine County to represent, but luckily he's in Kenosha County. That's the very southeasternmost county in Wisconsin if you're looking at a map. Here's Fulton, the 0-2. Swing and a miss, and a nice inning by Ellis. Sits him down 1-2-3 without much of a threat. We are moving right along here at Dozer Park in this pitcher's duel. And I think those fans that might have picked soccer earlier, Gavin, might be feeling a little bit better about themselves the way that Thompson and Ellis are going now the last few half innings.
Yeah, they have been just on a roll. They are not conceding much to the hitters. Again, Humphreys, one swing of the bat is where we stand 1-0. We'll see if any more offense can get sparked in the late innings.
I wanted to thank all of our sponsors. Again, mentioned some of them earlier, but also we have some more that help make the league and our broadcast possible, including Legacy Investments, Nick Terry and the Knapp family, Lori Vinovich, Country Financial, 309-925-8841. Also by Pyramid Printing, Randy Baum Design. Visit randybaumdesign.com, Royal Publishing, and also Tim Horenka from Country Financial. And last but definitely not least, the Wyman Group. Also, Whitey's Route 29 and part of Cruisin's too as well. And like we said earlier, the Wyman Group as well. So 1-0 game here in the bottom of the fifth. As it'll be Zach Hahn, Peyton Bradford, and Alex Seaton due up for the Falcons, 8-9-1. And the Falcons got 2 hits back in the third and 1 in the first, but nothing else since.
This would be a big opportunity here for the bottom of the order for the Falcons. If they can get the 8 or the 9 hitter on and then turn the lineup card back over to the top, this might be one of their better chances to push across some runs, but the hard part is getting aboard.
Here's Hahn. This is a chopper left side. Brecklin like a Jeter-esque throw. Is it in time? No, it was not. A first base umpire took his time to make the call, wanted to make sure, and Hahn, the catcher, well, he made this safe call.
Courtesy runner.
Courtesy runner, okay. Yeah, there we go. I was going to say, I don't know if you can change your call once you've officially made it with your arms, but courtesy runner coming in for Hahn, the catcher. It looks like that's Brendan Coventry. Former IVC Gray Ghost, was a great athlete up there in multiple sports. As Bradford digs in, looks at a strike. Coventry's got some speed at first base. He leads the team in stolen bases with 4. I would not be surprised to see him try and take off here.
Yeah, Tesson Humphreys' big arm back there, though.
Dropping out a bunt. It's a pop-up. Bradford gets it down. Third baseman throws. They get him. What a play by Hofer. As Coventry and Stewart got tangled up a little bit there at second base. I think it was just some almost like play fighting going on over there. At least we believe it was. We hope it was.
Honest fun. Honest fun, I believe. It was a good bunt, though. I mean, Hofer really had to muscle that one, had to barehand it right off the grass. But runner in scoring position, a couple opportunities here for Miller Lite.
And Seaton fouls that one away. I've interviewed both Brendan Coventry and talked to even a lot of times with Jake Stewart, and both of them are good kids. I think they're just out there having fun. That's the nice thing about this league is there's really no real bad blood, right? We're not gonna see anyone charging the mound or anything like that.
Of course not. All in good fun.
Here's Seaton now, top of the order with Coventry on second. Runner on and 1 out. He will elect not to intentionally walk Seaton, which I wouldn't do. That would just only put the go-ahead run on base, despite it setting up a double play possibility.
Seaton taking his time, being patient. Got to wonder, obviously, Thompson hasn't faced many base runners tonight, hardly anybody in scoring position. Now he's got a very speedy man out there at second to worry about. Wonder if it's getting in his head. His 3 straight balls. We really haven't seen this at all from Gavin Thompson.
He could maybe the approach here might have been just not intentionally walk him, but pitch around him. Where if you give him to chase, great, but if not, you put a runner on first and maybe set up a double play, and that will be a strike on the outside corner. Seton didn't think so, but again, dealing with a little bit of a wider zone here tonight, and the count is run full.
Big at bat right here, though. Seton needs a hit.
He leads the team in hits with 12. Chops that one foul into his own dugout. So we'll do it again. I think this might be one of the deepest at-bats of the game that we've seen by either team.
Haven't seen too many full counts. Again, mostly in part to Porbro's first pitch swing. Getting on it early in the count. Miller Lite a little more patient tonight, working longer at bats.
Here's a 3-2. Seton swings and misses. Drop third strike. Oh, and the throw is offline, and Seton's going to be safe at first. The throw was certainly in time there from Humphrey, but it drew Pajoli off the bag. And haven't we talked a little bit about small ball, and how about that? Reaching on a dropped third strike.
Yeah, just took a look out to second. Got him a little bit off balance on his throw and let the man safe at first. So, again, a little bit of hot water here for Thompson as you start to work into the heart of the order.
I probably wanted to make sure that Coventry wasn't going to try and scurry on down to third, but that little double clutch may have cost him. There is Bowles swings and misses, and quickly 0-2 here.
Bowles did single earlier in this game, so he was the first hit of the ball game for Miller Lite.
Got 2 RBIs on the season. Watches a ball outside there.
Obviously batting at the top of the order. Not too many run scoring opportunities for Bowles, but like to add to his totals. Pretty much anything to the outfield is going to score the man from second.
Even just an infield single to keep the line moving. That could also work too as well. A lot of different options here for Bowles.
Thompson's trying to go back to the strikeout, though. That'd probably be the most ideal, other than maybe a double play. He's done both tonight.
Coventry's going to try and take third. Got a great jump, but he came off the bag. He overslid it. He came in hot to third base, and they get the strikeout as well. So strike him out, throw him out, and the Jacks wriggle out of the tough bottom of the 5th inning and still lead it 1-0. How about that?
Yeah, so there's a strikeout and the double play, and you can just do them both in the same motion. As Humphrey gets a little bit of revenge there on the throw down to third. Makes up for the error, and still a 0 on the scoreboard for Miller Lite.
I would say, as it stands right now, again, still got 2 more innings left to play and still could have a lot of drama in this one, but Humphrey is easily my pick for player of the game so far. In case you're just tuning in, he had an absolute rocket of a home run that was right down the left field line, almost went right over the foul pole, and that stands as the only run in this game back in the 3rd inning. It was right after we were talking about small ball. He said, the heck with that. This has been a fun one so far, again, between Porbros and Miller Lite. Again, we'll have plenty more Sunday Morning League action coming your way later this summer, including coming up this Saturday. We'll be back here at Dozer Park for our first look, at least ours, at Clutch Sports Media's first broadcast of the Weavers Bandits, which is going to be a lot of fun. And again, for us, we're covering high school sports all year long. Weavers has tons and tons of recent high school graduates on that team, and they got a pretty packed schedule. A lot of those guys had to play deep in early to mid-June, deep into the postseason, so they got a little bit of a late jump. They're going to be playing a lot of games over the next few weeks.
Oh, yeah, probably no way they'd rather have it, though. Spending your summer playing a lot of baseball games, that's the dream for a lot of guys, is most of them head off to play in college next season, so just kind of an extension of their high school season, and they prepare to head off to their respective universities.
The Bandits will take on the Move Smart Mariners. That game's set for a 12:30 first pitch. So if you're local, come out to the ballpark. If you can't make it or you want to stay inside, feel free to tune in here on ClutchSportsIsle.com. We'll have that broadcast for you again on Saturday. Here's Ben Lapp. Doubled to start the game, but was left stranded. Fouls that one away. We will be back next week on Thursday, July 2nd. We'll see Weavers again as they take on the Coles Diamond Gallery Royals, another team we, at least to my knowledge, I do not believe we've seen Coles yet this year. And then we'll see the Cruisins Reds take on the Coles Royals on July 14th. That'll be our last regular season broadcast. But plenty of playoffs that we will have here on CSM, including games on the 23rd, 24th, 25th, and 26th, as well as all the championship series too as well. So, again, part of our expanded broadcast schedule that we're very excited to do this year with the Sunday Morning League. 1-1 to Lap. This one hit high into the night, but going to be easily trackable and caught by Lawrence.
Lapp hit a rocket in his first at-bat, so anytime you see it high in the air, you might assume it's going to go a ways, but that time it just hung up nicely for the shortstop. And again, Ellis has not had much trouble. He's now set down 7 batters in a row, so he's starting to find his groove.
Certainly has, doing everything he can to keep his team in this one as Welgett digs in. Welgett on the year is having a amazing season for the Jacks. He's tied for 3rd in the league in hits, hitting .424 with a .500 on-base percentage, .485 slugging. So at OPS right up near 1, which is a sign of an outstanding hitter. So we'll see what he can do here. This is in kind of no man's land, but in the land, though, of John McGuire, who's playing a nice game defensively over there at second.
Not much trouble for the first 2 batters. Again, Ellis starting to find his groove, and this has just been, honestly been the story lately for Miller Lite. They've been getting nearly perfect pitching, maybe a couple mistakes, a couple runs given up here and there, but not a lot of run support for the pitcher. So Ellis keeping a minute. The question is, will Miller Lite be able to turn the bats on before this one's all said and done?
He'll have just 2 more chances as Brecklin looks at a strike there. Coming up in the bottom of the 6th, it'll be the 3, 4, and 5. McGuire, Ketchum, and Deering. And obviously Lawrence, Finn, and Hahn following up after that. So still got some work to do if you're Gavin Thompson and the Jacks as Brecklin hits this one into short center. Making the run is Bradford sliding. And he held on for that one, no doubt about it. And that is 3 outs in the top of the 6th, so David Ellis just cruising along. Now his team needs to pick up some hits in the bottom of the 6th. A nice play there by Bradford at center.
Made a safe catch, didn't try to dive forward, just kind of slid on his backside and was able to corral it. Covered some good ground out there, too. That one was not an easy part of the ballpark for him to get. Charged in nicely and showed off the wheels.
Yeah, it took a slightly kind of interesting path to that ball. Kind of lost it in the air maybe a little bit, but eventually recovered. And I honestly didn't expect him to slide, but, you know, it obviously got the job done. And another one of the fine glove plays we've seen here tonight. And while Ellis is kind of cruising, there is some activity over in the Miller Lite bullpen. Try and see who that is. And if I'm the Falcons, I'm keeping him out there for the 7th inning, but it looks like, I see who that is in the right, and down the right field line for the Falcons warming up. Looks like number 44, which I do not have a 44 on my roster. We'll double check on that. And Ellis, though, a strong game despite giving up that home run to Humphrey. It's really the only big mistake he has made, but his team still has some chances to dig him out of it.
This is a really good opportunity. You got 3, 4, 5 coming up, middle of the order. And Miller Lite starting to get a little bit of momentum last inning. Wasn't able to result in anything. A strike him out, throw him out is what ended things in the 5th inning for the Falcons. But again, another chance to keep the line moving against Gavin Thompson.
Here's McGuire leading it off, and this one's hit deep to left. Will it tie it? That one's gone. Onto the berm. McGuire goes yard. Pump your fist, young man. You hit that one well out. And there was no doubt about that one either. We got a tie game here at Dozer.
And right on cue, there's McGuire. I mean, I told you he was probably my pick to really be the unsung hero. Well, now he's singing all the praises for the Miller Lite Falcons. Him and Humphrey keeping their teams in the ball game. I mean, they're just making great play after a great play. Sometimes one guy can be the difference for you. Right now, the Falcons really appreciating John McGuire.
Yeah, you just love to see him be so pumped up after that. Obviously, I think if we were playing this game in a different venue, he'd definitely still be pumped up as Ketchum got hit. I don't know if that hit his helmet or I think it hit his bat, but it went over the netting and into the stands. And they're going to say that's a foul ball. That is a new one for me yet. I have never seen that at baseball game at any level. Ball goes off the top of the bat and over the netting.
Very obscure play. I don't have much to say about that one.
That's just, again, the charm of baseball, right, is, there's been so many baseball games played over the years at so many different levels, and every time you go to a game, you got a good chance of seeing something you've never seen before. And Ketchum did go there, much to the chagrin of some of the fans in attendance, as you get a look here at activity over there in the Falcons pen. And that's a 4 on the right side. Looks like a 4 on the left, number 2 as well. Don't see a 44 listed on the roster, but we'll try and keep you updated if he does come into the game. Ketchum facing a 2-2 here, and again, the league home run leader could give his team the lead. Thompson being careful and throws that one low.
And again, Falcons' approach didn't pay dividends early on to many runs or many hits, but maybe wearing Thompson down a little bit as we've gone along.
That one is strike 3. Ketchum a little bit displeased with that wide zone, but it's kind of been the way the zone has been tonight, and that's 3 strikeouts for Ketchum on the night. So Thompson has had his number as he'll try and get Deary and Lawrence for outs 2 and 3 and get back in the dugout, maybe regain this lead.
Again, a little bit far east-west, but I'd have to say it's been rather consistent for both sides. Haven't seen too much disparity there. Obviously, maybe not liking the call, but Blue's doing it the best he can. Doing a fine job calling balls and strikes in a emotionally charged ball game. 2 of the top teams in the league. Both teams looking for a big win.
Again, I was saying earlier, as another strike there to Deering. Goes on the wide corner, but you just saw it. McGuire, he was really pumped up heading back into that dugout. And I think playing here under the lights at Dozer against the top team in the league, again, that's just not any home run for him. That's one that he's certainly going to feel good about when he goes to bed tonight. I think regardless of the result, pretty cool moment for Mr. McGuire, the second baseman for the Falcons.
Yeah, he's gotten on base all 3 times. Couple of those coming via hit, and of course the game-tying home run.
Strike 3 to Deering as Thompson racks up another one. A little bit on the outside, and Deering also not too happy about it, but it'll be up to Lawrence now to try and keep this inning alive, as we've got some bubbles coming down from around the press box area. Don't know if that's a person blowing bubbles or they got a little machine going up there. There's quite a bit of them.
Not something I expected to see. I was more zoned in on Gavin Thompson playing Picasso, painting the corners.
And Lawrence lines this one into center. That one will get down for a single. So a 2-out base runner here for the Falcons and keeps the rally alive for their DH, Chris Finn.
Again, if you put something in the gap, Lawrence has got some speed over there at first base. So, again, you find a gap in left or right center field. Could be good enough to take the lead. But again, Gavin Thompson, very minimal on the damage tonight. Just one big swing. Only run he's given up so far.
Thompson gets ahead in the count early. And now what this does for the Falcons, too, is even if Finn isn't able to keep sitting going much further, is, what Miller Lite's done is they're going to be able to kind of turn the order back around, at least going into the 7th, because Finn's a 7-hole hitter, and then they'll at least have 8, 9, and 1 due up into the 7th. So if they can get a few more hits, then maybe the guys like Seaton, like McGuire might get another late at bat, potentially with the opportunity to win the game. Here's the 1-1 to Finn. Chop to the right side will go just foul in the glove of Pajoli.
Again, lots of patient at-bats for Miller Lite. Not jumping on stuff too early, kind of polar opposite approaches, but as of late, it's been starting to wear on Thompson a little bit.
Swing and a miss there, and Thompson gets his 3rd strikeout of the inning. However, 2 hits sandwiched in between there, one of which is a home run by John McGuire, and we have a tie game going into the 7th here at Dozer Park. How about it, Gavin? The 2 top teams in the league. Tie ball game going into the 7th inning. Perfect night for baseball here in Peoria. This is doesn't get much better than this.
No, this is all you can ask for. We knew it was going to be a close, competitive pitchers duel. Again, we haven't seen too many runs, not even many threatening situations. It's been the long ball playing the factor. Maybe we got that one a little wrong a little bit, but
yeah,
I'm happy to be okay wrong on that one. Love seeing a good home run, a lot of hard hit balls in this game. And we've got a good one going into the late innings. Don't go anywhere. Biggest sporting event on of the night in any capacity is right here, right now.
Again, yeah, that USA World Cup game doesn't mean anything. Stars and Stripes have already again clinched their spot in the next round. Looks like from the looks of it, Gavin, it sounds like they'll be playing Bosnia and Herzegovina in the 2nd round, and then from there might face the winner of Egypt and Cape Verde. Is you get a bubble? It came right to me.
I have to go back to geography class on those countries.
Yeah. Egypt, again, that's a fairly popular country.
Egypt, of course.
Yeah, I think most people know up there in the northeast corner of Africa. Although Cape Verde, they are an island nation off of the west coast of Africa in the Atlantic Ocean. So they're kind of a little bit of a Cinderella story. It would be definitely an underdog to get there, but
summer school with John Michael.
It's funny. I was actually talking to someone earlier today. I am a big trivia buff, and my 2 best categories, sports obviously number 1, but number 2 is geography. I'm a huge geography guy, so I could I'll refrain from talking about it at much more length on this broadcast. But man, if you want to talk about where countries are located, capitals, flags, all of that stuff, man, I eat that up. Here's Pajoli to put the location of this ball in the seats, but it's going to find the glove of Deering in foul territory for out number 1 as Ellis continues to roll.
Yeah, Ellis is doing a great job. Just to chime in on the trivia, though, Poor Bros does a fantastic trivia night as well. So
I actually I've heard about it.
It is fantastic.
I've never been to it, though. Yeah, I think we gotta make it a team. Maybe bring our friends Mark Wagner and Bryson Higgins along sometime. Maybe.
Oh, yeah.
See, they're big trivia guys at all? A little bit. And Mark's, yeah, they both say, yeah, okay, all right.
I will say there's no regulation on the size of the team in trivia.
There you go. Hofer hits a fly ball to right, and Bowles makes a long run to retire him for out number 2.
We got to assemble the whole Clutch Sports Army and I've never won it out there at Poor Bros. It's always been a great time, great food, drinks, but I'd like to win it one of these days.
You and me both. I'm a guy that I love winning, but honestly, I'm kind of one of the guys that I hate to lose a lot more. And as here's Zach Schulte. Again, first pitch swinging again. This is going to be a very quick inning. If McGuire can put it away, he does. And here we go. The Falcons have a chance to win it here in the bottom of the 7th after being down 1-0 for a majority of this game. They will have Zach Hahn, Peyton Bradford, and Alex Seaton due up against Gavin Thompson. A chance to walk it off here at Dozer Park.
And it feels like Miller Lite started to kind of take that momentum in their favor. Ellis has been dealing on the mound the last couple innings. Miller Lite's bats are starting to come to life a little bit. So we'll see if they can find some magic here in the bottom of the 7th. Hahn with a single his last time up, so he's trying to keep it going. And it'll be Bradford and Seaton after that.
We shall see what happens here. And Hahn is 1 for 2 with a single. Bradford 0 for 2 with 2 groundouts. Seaton 1 for 3 with a single. And he reached on a dropped third strike before being thrown out stealing. That was a big moment in this game when they got that double play with Thompson striking out Bowles and then also Humphrey throwing out a stealing Coventry. And who was, was that Coventry? I think that tried to steal third.
It was. He was courtesy running for Hahn.
That's right. That is right. Yeah, that was not Seaton that was thrown out on the base pass.
Very confusing play. A lot happening in one short motion. But Hahn again looking to get something moving, keep the line rolling. As they'd love to turn the order back over to John McGuire, who had the one big swing of the bat.
Foul ball. That one comes up by the concourse. Nearly hits some fans. Overall, solid crowd here at Dozer Park. Obviously, it's very, very spread out. Obviously, with ballpark of this size and everything. But I'd say definitely at least, maybe 40 to 50 fans here in attendance. Probably some of those that might have left a little bit earlier too. Again, as we go past 10 p.m. here in downtown Peoria.
Several here earlier for Firehouse Pizza Expos in the first game.
All the Jacks fans had made a whole night of the ballpark. Probably got maybe some concessions in between games as Jacks won that one 4-1. 0-2 here to Zach Hahn, the East Peoria product. Or 1-2, excuse me. This one hitting to right center. That's going to get down. It's going to be at least a single. Hahn going to try and make this 2. Here comes the throw. Hahn beats it, is in there with a leadoff double, and that is absolutely huge for the Miller Lite Falcons. Hahn pumped up as he'll get courtesy ran for. It looks like that's Coventry coming in again. And that's a speedy man over there at second, and with no outs, there's lots of danger here brewing for the Jacks.
And I think that might be all she wrote for Gavin Thompson. It was a stellar day on the mound for him. Obviously got beat up here a little bit late in the innings, but overall an excellent day. He finishes with a bunch of strikeouts, 10 strikeouts on the day.
Wow.
It looks like he will maybe hand off. Not quite yet. He will hand it off.
Yep, Noah Chase is coming in from the bullpen for Poor Bros. So after some deliberation, it looks like Chase is going to get the call. We now have a IVC grad on second in Coventry, and now an IVC grad on the mound in Chase, who has played his college ball at St. Ambrose up in Davenport, Iowa, NAIA level. He's quite the two-way player for Poor Bros. He's third in the league in hits this year, but he's also thrown 13 1/3 innings, has a 4.20 ERA, 10 strikeouts, and 5 walks. An 0-2 record and 1 save. So trying to avoid his third loss of the season, although if Miller Lite walks off, he would not get credited with the loss because that run would get put on Thompson. So Thompson responsible for the runner on second. And we'll see what Chase can do as he inherits it.
Yeah, tough spot. Chase, maybe a little more known for his hitting abilities. Wasn't in the starting lineup for this game. But again, you got a speedy man out there at second base. Again, probably any ball to the outfield, they're going to get aggressive. It's in Coventry home. So again, we'll see the infield come in. Probably a shallow outfield as well. And Chase just looking for something soft on the ground, maybe a pop-up, or of course a strikeout would also do him well here. As the 9-hole hitter Peyton Bradford just looking to muscle something to the outfield and keep that winning run moving 90 feet ahead.
Looks like we're going to have a pinch hitter here, Gavin. And how about, we got IVC grads all up the middle now. It looks like Griffin Landsverk is going to pinch hit for Bradford, number 12. So gray ghosts all over the field here deep into the night at Dozer Park. So call this place the ghost yard now. And big at bat coming for Landsverk, hitting 143 on the year, but has a 308 on base percentage, has drawn 4 walks, has 3 hits, 1 double, 10 strikeouts, and again, those 4 walks on the year. So, my question to you is, do you intentionally walk him here?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, I'm probably going to say no. It's a guy that has not hit tonight. He's coming off the bench. That doesn't mean he can't get a hit, but tougher position, pinch hitting. And you've got the top of the order coming up next, so you'd love to try to get it out right here while you can. But certainly no guarantee. They'd love to walk it off right here.
First baseman Pajoli creeping in. They throw a pickoff to Coventry. They got him! That's the second time tonight Coventry's been thrown out on the base pass, and what a call by Chase and their catcher Tyler Humphrey, as that just extinguishes a major amount of momentum that Miller Lite just had.
That was a well-executed play. That's definitely probably what they were talking about at the meeting on the mound, as they were showing like they were going to defend against the bunt, trying to bring over the second baseman on a trap play at third base to try and throw him out there. But instead, the shortstop creeps up behind and throws him out, so a little bit of trickery there and really well put on by Zach Schulte.
Well done all around by the Jacks, and this is just a completely different game now as Landsverk has a clear slate to deal with, and will try and start another rally of his own. Here's the 2-0, and kind of a tough swing there. Got jammed on the inside. It's now 2-1. And Landsverk, the pinch hitter in the 9-hole spot. We got the leadoff hitter, Seaton, coming up behind him. Here's a 2-1. Landsverk watches it low, and now Chase has to be careful to not put another runner right back on the base pass.
Yeah, definitely don't want to walk your first batter you face, but he's really done a big part in getting that man out at second already.
Swing and a miss there. Landsverk probably had the green light, came up empty. And Landsverk has got to keep in mind that the zone has been a little bit wider tonight, so if it's anything remotely close, I think he's got to swing. Here's a 3-2. Hit to the right side and past to diving Pajoli. And they get a runner right back on base, albeit not on second, but still the winning run is aboard for the Falcons.
That's a tough spot for Landsverk to be in. You know, coming off the bench, again, you're facing maybe a little bit of a pitcher-friendly zone, not helping you out too much, and able to just see a lot of pitches there. Gets a little bit of a late swing, but muscles it to right field. Now you get the top of the order coming up, so this is going to be your best shot right here to try and drive in that winning run.
And you want to be aggressive on the base pass as Seaton steps in, but you also got to be mindful. Again, 2 runners have been thrown out, and it was, again, Coventry both times. So frustrating night for him, but we'll see if they try and steal a bag here, or maybe put on the hit and run. Who knows? 1-0. Seaton grounds this one to the right side. They'll get one right there. Throw down to second. It is going to be in time. They get the 3-6 double play. We're headed to the extras. at Dozer Park. What a wild inning there. But it ends with a 0 on the scoreboard as we move on to the top of the 8th.
Yeah, only one ball in play producing an out in that inning, and we still end up with 3 outs. That's the beauty of baseball. There's so many different variations of how you can get to the end result, and David Ellis is going to come back out on the mound for another inning.
We'll see how deep Ellis goes into this game. Again, we did see a bit of activity in that pen earlier for Miller Lite, but Ellis has been cruising, and we do want to thank all of our sponsors for tonight's broadcast, including the Blue Duck Barbecue Tavern, located just blocks away from us here at Dozer Park. Bomb Sports as well. Bradley L. Welker, C.R. Davis and Company. Also by Bradfields. And Busey Bank. He also, excuse me, I've seen them on your scoreboard all night. Presenting sponsor this year, CAD Construction Incorporated. Captivation Dance, one of 2 dance companies. We have also Kim's Academy of Dance in there as well. Cookies in Peoria Heights, Core Construction, and many others as well. And a quick update, again, in case you're just tuning in, we kind of had a running kind of a joke of a bet of will there be more goals scored in the U.S. World Cup game tonight, more runs scored here tonight. Now it's 2-2 in that game. So still have seen more scoring in soccer than we have in baseball here tonight. Just goes to show how good the pitching and how good the defense has been. But again, it gets tougher for those pitchers because a new rule for the PSML this year is they do start with a runner on second base. They changed that rule going into this year. So Jacks have a man on second as Jake Stewart will lead things off. It'll be 7-8-9 for Poor Bros here in the 8th.
Corners are playing in. Maybe a bunt here from Stewart. He is going to bunt.
Down the right field line. Will it stay fair? They say it's fair. Was he safe, though? That's the question. No, he was out, but what a beautiful bunt there by Stewart. Miller Lite had no choice, really, but to just kind of hope that goes foul and allowed the runner, which, by the way, is Zach Gilbert, plenty of time to get on over to third. So nice job done there by Stewart.
Yeah, it was a really well-executed bunt. Pushed it to the opposite side. No chance to get the man at heading to third, and now the infield's going to play in, as will the outfield.
Humphrey responsible for the only run of the game so far for Poor Bros. Trying to be the hero again with another RBI, which would be his 11th of the season if he can bring in Zach Gilbert, who's sitting 90 feet away.
Just looking to drive something to the outfield. That's pretty much a guaranteed run.
I think you're just trying to get contact of any sort. Just give Gilbert a chance. You don't have to send him home, obviously, if it looks like they might get him. Maybe you could do the old, hold him up at third, but as soon as they throw to first, then maybe you send him. I mean, we could see all sorts of wacky scenarios here in play. 1-1 is fouled back and into the seats.
Yeah, just very important, as you said, to get this ball in play. This is not a situation you want to come up empty with a strikeout. Humphrey, though, has gotten the ball in play twice tonight. One was over the fence.
Huge pitch coming up here for David Ellis. Working overtime tonight and watches that one just miss the zone. Even the count up. Humphrey leads the team with 4 doubles, but doesn't necessarily need a 2-bagger here. Just put something into the outfield, and that might be enough to score the runner from third. Here's a 2-2. That one also fouled back. Humphrey continues to battle.
Yeah, that was just a chop it off sort of pitch, a little bit high and away. Obviously, Humphrey knows well, being behind the dish catching. Got to fight it off with a bit of a big zone. So anything nearby, as you mentioned earlier, you got to be swinging at.
2-2 again to Humphrey. High and away. Humphrey being patient here in this at-bat. And you got Aiden Fulton coming up on deck. And also no activity, by the way, in the Miller Lite bullpen. We did see some earlier, but it looks like the Falcons are just going to roll with Ellis until the wheels fall off, if they do at all. 3-2 to Humphrey. This one hit to the left side. That's fair. That's going to bring in a run, and that's going to be at least a double for Humphrey. Going deep into the corner, and he is cruising in with a stand-up double. And just when it seemed like Poor Bros might be on the verge of losing in walk-off fashion, they now take the lead and have a runner on second base with one out after Tyler Humphrey delivers yet again.
Well, you said he didn't need the double, but he wanted it anyway, John.
I swear, he must hear us, because last time we were talking about small ball, and that's, we talked about might be what you need to win this game. He hits the home run. I say, well, you don't need a double here, and he hits a double. So I think Tyler can hear us from down there in the batter's box. So
speaking it into existence.
We will see a pinch hitter here for Poor Bros. That's number 6, Trevor Goforth, graduate of Cuba High School, played his high school ball for North Fulton before they became as what was now known. They are now the LVC Miners, co-op now with Lewiston. It looks like Poor Bros try to get a pinch runner in there, Jake Majernik. For Humphrey, that one fouled back by Goforth, who on the year hitting 200, but we briefly mentioned earlier, it leads the league with 13 walks and has had to go with 11 strikeouts on the year, 3 doubles and 4 RBIs. One ball, 1 strike, 1 out. That one rides inside.
So you've already got the free runner at second base, but you now essentially have kind of a take 2 on this, as you got another runner in second, still just 1 out. Big insurance run standing out there.
Especially when you do consider that Miller Lite, again, will be afforded the same opportunity Poor Bros was with a runner on second. So, and obviously not a given that runner comes across the score, but you play the odds and figure that there's a good likelihood that they do score, which, again, does make that run at second very, very valuable for this Jacks team. But trying to walk out of here with 2 wins on the night. Goforth watches that one, called for a strike. Count is now full. Now there will be a little bit of action in the Miller Lite pen. Pitch from Ellis is hit hard, but on the left field line and foul. So they'll do it again.
Couple of long at-bats in a row here for Poor Bros. Again, Ellis had just been cruising along. He had set down 12 straight batters, but Humphrey with a long at-bat ran it full. Now Goforth doing the same. Again, could be a long outing starting to wear on Ellis.
I believe, if I had to guess, I think that is Riley Bradshaw throwing in the pen for the Falcons, who is number 14 again. Can't get a great look at his number, but I do see a 4 on there. So, and Bradshaw leads the league actually in innings pitched and is 3rd in strikeouts. So another good arm for this Miller Lite team that again is really built around pitching. Obviously they do have some good hitting, but I think when it boils down to it, they're a team that's going to try and beat you by holding you off the board, as that one is fouled into the party deck. Goforth just continuing to keep this at bat alive and make Ellis work even more.
Again, the longer he goes, could be closer to the end of the day for Ellis. Again, we're into the 8th inning. Long night, 10:30.
This one chopped to the right side and also foul. So I've lost track of how many pitches it's been this at bat, but I think we're probably right at, if not exceeded, 10.
Yeah, I believe that was the 10th pitch of the at-bat, John. Just waiting on a good one here. Swinging just about everything, trying to advance that runner.
Not going to bunt here, though. 3-2 is chopped to the right side. Clean pick by McGuire. Fires it over for the easy out. And that will move the runner on over to third. So nice job done there by Goforth. Now back to the top of the order, and Ben Lapp, who has a double, a fly out to center, and popped out to shortstop. And this one, single would do wonders here.
Yeah, you got to think that that insurance run is huge with 2, 3, and 4 coming up for Miller Lite.
That one also fouled back away. Also, Hahn, this is a big at-bat for him as a catcher. Can't let anything get back to the backstop either.
Hahn always known being pretty solid defensively at the high school level and expecting much of the same. Had a good showing here tonight so far.
0-1. Outside to Lapp again. Hahn, obviously, an East Peoria product. A lot of East Peoria influence on this Miller Lite team. You look at there, Bradshaw, at least we believe to be Bradshaw, warming up with Coventry, who is a catcher in his day, IVC. Again, obviously a lot of IVC players as well. Lapp was a Eureka Hornet, and he's also the latest Jacks batter to get an RBI, as that one just evaded the glove of Lawrence. That's a huge run for Porbros to go up 3-1.
Yeah, so now you not necessarily eliminate, but you can't get beat on that tying run that's automatically out there at second, as it was just softly hit. Maybe a different alignment gets an out for the Falcons. But Lapp placed it perfectly and gives them that extra run, which is so crucial.
So I'll bring up Welgett now, number 2 batter. That one's popped back up and right above us here in the booth on the concourse here at Dozer Park. Pretty cool to get a foul ball back here, but also at the same time, I hope we don't. We have a lot of rather expensive equipment. I would prefer not to be destroyed tonight.
I don't shy away from catching a baseball. I'm going full extension.
I'll put my body on the line as well. And another nice frame job there by Hahn. Makes it 0-2 on Welgett, who, again, is having an outstanding year for the Jackson. Might be on his path to a potential all-star nod this year if he can keep it up, but is 0-3 on the night. Here's the 0-2. Ellis trying to get out of the inning. This one popped up in foul territory on the right side. Deering closes the glove on it, and Porbros puts 2 on the board. Tyler Humphrey, the go-ahead run on the RBI double, and Ben Lapp adding the insurance run. Now for Miller Lite, they have one last gasp left in them. They got the 2, 3, 4 hitters. That includes John McGuire coming up to the bat here.
Yeah, and you've got Seaton as your free man out there at second base, so you got some decent speed as well, but obviously with 2 runs to get to try and tie this ball game again and 3 to win, you're going to have to keep the line moving. It's not going to be, maybe not necessarily one swing is going to get you there. It could be, but more than likely it's going to take some effort of Bowles and McGuire catch him to get on base and not get out, as they'll face Chase coming out for his second inning of work in relief of Gavin Thompson, who had a stellar outing and a no decision tonight. And again, 10 strikeouts, setting him down left and right. So Noah Chase looks to do the same.
And I want to thank all of our sponsors real quick, give them some extra airtime for our game is running long tonight. Cruisins, also DC Home Base, Ducks on Farmington Road, right across the street from Cruisins. And you got Fairview State Banking Company. Also Jake Smith, Alexis of Peoria. Also JH Car Wash. As well, Kim's Academy of Dance and Laura Martin Remax. As well, you can contact her on your screen, 309-369-6888. Or visit her website as well. I thank them and all the rest of our sponsors, including Legacy Investments, Lori Vinovich Country Financial, Pyramid Printing, Randy Baum Design, Royal Publishing, Tim Harenka Country Financial, and the Wyman Group. So runner on second here, obviously, for the Falcons, to Kick off their half of the 8th. Bowles swings and misses. Trying to identify that runner on second for the Falcons. Trying to do so after this pitch. A 1 curveball drops in there for another strike.
Should be Seaton.
That is Seaton out there, number 11. And low possibility that he bats this inning, so he is the number 1 hitter. This is the 2-hitter Bowles. Miller Lite certainly would like if Seaton got to hit again, but chances are by then this game will either might have reached some sort of conclusion, most likely, I bet.
He heads out there as being the last out of the prior inning. Starts at second base. Elect not to pinch run. He's got some good wheels.
S1 is hit very hard down the right field line and foul. Just past the outstretched arm of Tim Cundiff, who I bet he could have made that play, just elected not to. There's not much that Tim Cundiff can't do.
Not trying to show off. It's not in his purview.
Here's the 1-2 on the outside, and that was awfully close. I thought the way that the zone's been tonight, that could have snuck in there for strike 3, but instead it's 2-2 here to Bowles.
Yeah, very borderline call, but a solid take there from Bowles.
He was 1 for 3 on the night. That one does get the outside corner, and that's 3 strikeouts in a row for Bowles, and the Jacks are a little bit closer to sealing this one up. Now we'll see McGuire, who tied this game with the swing of the bat in the 6th. Had a booming home run to left, ended up on the berm. Can he do so again?
Certainly would like to as he looks at a strike. Probably not going to jump on anything too quickly. Just going to take it slow here and wait for a good pitch and try and hit every last stitch off of it.
This one hit well into center, but right at lap. Not deep enough for any trouble, and the runner Seaton will hold up at second. So the game is now in the hands of Luke Ketchum. Again, the league leader in home runs, but has struck out 3 times tonight. Can he get a hold of one here? Not many people better in the league to have at bat right now if you're Miller Lite.
Yeah, not a great situation, but of all the situations you could have, this is not the worst. Again, Ketchum just looking to pound a baseball right here.
Allen rides inside for a ball. And Deering on deck if Ketchum were to reach. Defense playing pretty much straight up across the board here for the Jacks. And the 1-0 is outside but called for a strike.
Little bit of a deceiving grab there by Humphrey as it crossed the zone. Just clipping the corner.
Big swing and miss there for Ketchum, and I'll make it 1-2. Chase will try to finish him off here with this next pitch. Forbros trying to go for the sweep and cement their status on top of the division. Can take a big step here, and Ketchum fouls it away. Stay alive.
Not done yet. Keeping Chase honest.
He's long looking at his catcher Humphrey, who has done a fantastic job for the Jacks tonight. See what the pitch is here. Ketchum hits it in the air. In a tough spot, but it should be catchable for the center fielder. It is. Lapp closes the glove on it. And that's a sweep for the Jacks tonight. They beat Firehouse 4-1 earlier. They beat Miller Lite here 3-1. And a great night for the Jacks. That's a big, big win over a Falcons team and an outstanding game that provided lots of entertainment, Gavin. And what do you know? We talked about ties, 4 runs, 4 goals in that World Cup game. No one wins, no one loses, but everyone all had fun here tonight.
There's our tie.
Yeah, there's our tie. Exactly. There's our tie tonight, but Man, what a game. And Tyler Humphrey really made his presence known, and also a great job by Thompson and Chase on the mound. Chase going to get the win. Ellis, great outing, too. He'll get tagged with the loss. But, just great play all around. Really fun to see these two league powers go at it.
Yeah, I mean, that's about as close as it gets right there. Had to go to extra innings. I guarantee we're going to see them play some more big games and probably in the playoff series. So get used to seeing this, folks. We could see a repeat of this matchup coming up here in just a few weeks as both these teams try to cement themselves as champions in the Sunday Morning League. But still a ways to go as we still got some regular season games to play.
Fun one tonight. We saw home runs from Humphrey and John McGuire. Saw some crazy plays in the field. That catch by McGuire, too, as well. Some great double plays, some big pickoffs as well. This game really had it all. As we look again at the standings here, this was entering today. So now Porbros now 13-2 on the year. That's a pretty strong first half of the season. Miller Lite will drop to 10-4 on the year, but still comfortably in second place in this division, holding a commanding 3-game lead over the Tin Lizard Twins. So obviously, some work to do for the Falcons if they want to get that number 1 seed, but definitely not out of it. And we'll see if their bats can kind of come around. But again, face some great pitching tonight.
Yeah, Porbros, to me, they just seem like a really solid all-around team. They obviously have some really standout players, but they don't seem like they have a deficiency in any given area. So I think that's what's contributed to them. And again, Miller Lite's going to come around and really can't count out any team there in the Sunday Morning League. It's baseball, right? Any one game can change anything for you. So it's going to be a fun rest of the way in the regular season. It's been a beautiful night for baseball here at Dozer Park. And
we're certainly glad that you spent it with us. You saw a good one tonight, and I appreciate all of our viewers that tuned in and watch this one that wraps up at 10:39 p.m., one of the latest broadcasts we've had in quite some time at Clutch Sports Media as well, but no place we'd rather be. Again, your final score, Porbros 3, Miller Lite 1. Big thank you to our entire crew tonight. Mark Wagner doing a fantastic job as our producer tonight. Bryson Higgins as well behind our camera doing great work with us and the Sunday Morning League all season long. And for my broadcast partner, Gavin Russell, I'm Jonathan Michaels saying so long and good night. We're right back here for more PSML baseball on Saturday as the Weavers Bandits take on the Moose-Smart Mariners right here, 12:30 first pitch. Watch live on ClutchSportsIsle.com. But until then, so long and good night from Dozer Park. Have a great rest of your week.